Hello, all. I'm Kelly Kleiman, and my podcast partner is Mr. Steve Tackett, founder of Gas.net, the absolute king of all automotive SEO, and there is nobody even in his rearview mirror. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Kelly. How are you?
Great, great. So after a 4-year hibernation following COVID, dealershipnews.com is semi-officially back, which is great. Before the pause, we were the fastest growing online resource for retail automotive best practices, connecting forward-thinking dealers with ideas, tools, and people shaping the future of the industry. We were shining a spotlight on the makers and the shakers and movers and shakers and all that kind of good stuff. So it actually felt very right for our first guest back to have someone on who helped define that brief era, a former Dealership News Vendor of the Year and true innovator in automotive retail. In fact, multiple dealership owner himself and co-owner and founder of WebBuy. I know Tom Murray is the one who introduced us to each other. And WebBuy is basically, from what I understand and recall, one of the first, if not the first, digital retail solutions to market where you can buy online 724, 365 at your convenience. We're excited to have Steve Zabawa back to kick off the next chapter of Dealership News. Steve, how you doing?
Wonderful, Kelly. Thanks for having us on, Steve. Look forward to hearing your insights also today.
Yeah, Sam. I was a big fan of the digital retailing during COVID. You know, you and Roadster took the market, and we had a service direction because that was the only way to make money. But I'm impressed with your product. I like what you do.
So, Steve, your company's tagline is about making car buying simple and stress free. I just went in and got a lease myself, and I would say it was relatively stress free. But after 4 hours, it gets a little crazy, right? So, what was the aha moment that led you to basically come up with EzCar and well, the whole web buy for that matter, and the fully digital retailing alternative?
I've gone through two versions of WebBuy. The first one was just to help dealers through COVID, right? They didn't, New York, Pennsylvania, a lot of people, you couldn't even go into the dealership, right? So they had to have some type of communication tool and work a car deal through, and we supplied that solution. Now the dealers are very traditional in general, but they're getting a lot of pressure from Carvana. That's 50,000 cars a month. CarMax is about 70 to 80,000 cars a month. So that you got a lot of action going on that's in a quick, easy way to buy a car. And they're actually pulling it off. Their technology's good, and they've gotten their act together over the last couple of years, and they're putting some pressure on the new car dealer, and that's what I am. And I said, hey, I've got to invent a solution to stay up with where this whole market's going. And I don't think any consumer will not argue with you because that's how they buy everything else. Car is one of the last things that you go through a traditional buying process. So it's time for the dealer to have a piece of software that's transactional versus just a lead getter, that where the consumer can go the distance with the help of a one-touch consultant and do it in 30 minutes, maybe an hour, hour and a half, worst case, with trades and loan payoffs, and maybe you switch from two or three cars like you do at the car dealership sometimes. But it's finally built. It's taken me 10 years to build it, and my whole team's very excited about bringing it out to the marketplace at this time. And it's called ez.car. That's my aggregator site for my car dealerships right now, but it'll be a competitor to cover Carvana, CarMax, and an opportunity for a new car dealer to really compete in this tech world.
Well, I remember right before COVID hit, you guys had already hit the market for about a year, so you had a head start, and I thought the timing was it was almost too early, but it was at the right time. And then every dealer was scrambling to come up with some kind of alternative to be able to sell people cars, not in the dealership, actually in the dealership. What does the customer journey look like? Walk us through that process.
Well, the First thing is they got to find you, right? So you got to be there on the search bars and then all the different things as far as getting the consumer to look at you. Your message needs to get out there, the easy way to buy a car, easy credit, easy service, easy sales. We're just going to make this easy for you because that's where people's heads are at now. They want a quick, efficient, professional opportunity to buy something, and Easy Car does that for them. So that's number one. So the journey is, they hit on a car. They get to your website, right, or our website, and they find a car that they're interested in. And then there's normally four buttons there for them to push. One would be like the pre-qual button. So a lot of people just want to know if they can get pre-qualified. Other people want to know what their trade value is. What kind of offer you're gonna make them, and what's their payoff. They want to know what their equity is, right? And then another button is just simply work the deal, explore payments, buy the car now. You can call it a bunch of different things. The beauty of WebBuy is that we have customized the whole journey. So no matter which dealership you are, whether you're a Toyota store, a Mitsubishi store, or an auto group, a Penske deal, our software allows every single one of your dealerships to do it the way they want to do it and mimic their traditional way of doing it, but do it digitally with a consumer-facing piece of software that's easy for someone. It's just a one pager too. We've dumbed it down, but we've dumbed it down, but it's awesome on how accurate it is. So it's a hard thing to do. There was 40 of us that tried to do this process of a transactional tool, and now we're down to about three or four companies that actually do it. And that's the whole secret is keep it simple. Sam, just like we always practice with our salespeople in the meetings, but at the same time, you got a desk manager and a finance manager, a comptroller and a GM and an owner of a store that needs to know that it's done right, produces the highest possible gross profit, and in all the different sections of the sale, accessories, finance, F&I, protection menus, everything's got to be spot on. And it has got to produce a digital signed contract at the end. And that's what we do at WebBuy. It's taken us a long time to be able to perfect all that, but we have amazing vendor partners. And I'll give a shout out to S&P. Market Scan is one of them.
Yeah,
Route One's another one. Dealer
Rusty at
Track's
Market
another one. We
Scan.
just have a lot of great partners.
Yeah, I know Rusty at Market Scan. We did some work with him as well back in the
He's the
day.
best. 30 years him and his dad put together, but they mastermind the ability to do tax title license in every single little itty city, town, you name it, in all 50 states. And then they mastermind the ability to work with all 30 manufacturers and get all the incentives, rebates, residuals, everything necessary. And they supply kind of AI where they throw out the best combination of incentives for that customer on that vehicle, and they've done a wonderful job on that. So we have a lot of wonderful vendor partners that have really gone deep on thinking how to sell a car digitally. The insurance companies have come to the table now, the F&I companies with great videos and brochures and things that are necessary for a consumer to really dig in and buy a service contract or a gap or whatever they're trying to do, resist all 360, that type of stuff.
Hmm.
What do you do about the transparency when you're an aggregator, so you're hosting multiple Chevy stores, let's say. What are you doing about the transparency, and how are you garnering customer trust in your platform?
Mm. Man, you're hitting me with a tough question there, Steve. Being a car dealer that doesn't like transparency, for 38 years I've been selling cars,
Your
right? And
customers do. I mean, this is a whole new world, right?
yeah, it's that's a tough one. So I had all these brown boxes show up at my doorstep at my house here in 2012. So this is 13 years ago. And I said, "What the heck is going on? I don't get it." So I got a lot of kids, and they showed me what they were doing on their computer and their iPhones and stuff, and how they were buying everything, and this box would show up within 24 hours. I said, "Okay, well, how do we deliver that and still do all the tricks that the car dealer loves doing, which is never give out the talk?" One of my sales manager here, Mo Malik, goes, we can't. I don't give out the number the first time. I make them ask it for at least three times before I give them the number, on the phone. And he said, we got to stop that. We got to get quicker to the point. That's what Carvana and CarMax is doing. The customer just wants the truth. So you have to be smart about what you do, but at the same time, in WebBuy as well as the other digital retailing tools, you actually can get to the price at your home, get the financing done, but mark in a point and a half for the good guys, sell a service contract, keep your grand profit on that, get your rate spread, get your price of the vehicle, get your dock fee, and then hit the trade where you know where you'd normally hit them at CarMax or in the showroom, and then see how they squirm, and then if they drop off real quick, we have surveys where they say if they decline anything, it tells us why they're declining, which is brilliant. And then we have people our text immediately, and then they reach out to that customer on a vid call, and work out the difference with them, and have that face-to-face relationship at that time, and show them why they're getting a good deal. Because it's still that's the customer wants a great deal. They still want to have the transparency, but they do want it quick. And they've learned how to they're just buying. That's look how many cars the other two competitors are selling now.
Are you allowing the customer to get to the price range or a quoted price before they give you their information?
No, normally we have lots of different places to gate it. So over the years, all the different auto groups all do it differently. Some gate up front, some gate, when you want a trade offer, some gate when you want the finance offer, some gate, at different points. So we have about 10 different ways to gate it. So whatever the way you want to do it at the auto group, we can do it that way. And then you can do some A/B testing also. So maybe you have two websites, maybe you're a Ford dealer like I am, and also got a Chrysler store. So you can actually do A/B testing and see which one's pulling the best for your marketplace. And every market's a little different. So, Silicon Valley is of course different than Stockton, and Stockton's different than Billings. So
You got
we've got 8,000 different customized points in our deal to allow the general manager and the over control freak sales manager and finance manager their opportunity to do it the way they want to do it. And that's everything. I mean, whatever they're doing, we can mimic it.
So I go into your digital retailing tool and I want to buy a new GMC Denali 2500. And you've got 10 specific gates where you can capture my information, right? Are
Correct?
you doing 1 through 10 testing? And are you tracking conversion rate drop off depending on at what point in the deal structure you gate the customer?
We are, yeah. We got an amazing dashboard. So we have, we know what your conversion rates are. We know what your closing rates are. We know where in the process they dropped off at, and also how many people accepted the offers. We make a trade offer, right? Don't you want to know what your percentage of trade offer? So most of our stores are running about on the first offer that's made on a trade offer, about 47% of the customers are accepting that offer. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, no, I don't believe you. But that's exactly, and that's hundreds of stores or thousands of stores across the country in all 50 states. Uh, that's the number right now. And the reason why it is, it's transparent. It shows them exactly what the JD Powers average auction value is. Boom, it shows them 38,343. And that's been the last 7 days in their marketplace. So it's a reputable name to start with. Then we take off whatever it costs to recon a car, 500 for this, 300 for that, 200 for cosmetics. And then we ask them what's broken on the car. And they have to be truthful and honest on that. So we've broken that down. And then maybe they got nailed for 2,000 on tires, a grand on a windshield, and 500 for something else. And they see how they got to that number. And what they all say just about every single time, whether it's in the showroom or online, the customer goes, I don't like it, but I can see how you got to it. Okay, let's go on. Let's go to the next step. So they've just
Transparency.
accepted the value.
Yeah, very cool. Super cool. Yeah, you're transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah, transparent works, especially if you actually do it. I haven't done that in my car dealerships. Normally, back in the old days, you pull out the yellow book or the blue book, you go to the number and it says this number, and you don't even go to the auction value to see whatever's going on, or you didn't have V-Auto back then. And you would give them what you thought that car was worth, and then they just had to take your word on it. Now everything is so awesome from V-Auto or any of the different trade tools that you can get right to where you're supposed to be. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot easier today than it was 10 years or even 20 years ago.
Yeah. You
Good
know,
stuff.
I also read, Steve, we had a question about the 7-day test drive. on every vehicle. I did that actually several years back at Toyota, but it was by accident. The sale didn't actually go through, but I drove the van for 7 days. They said, "Oh, go ahead, take it home for a few days and we'll get back to you." And they just took 7 days to get back to me. All right, let's talk about fun things like advertising costs and all that kind of stuff, because we know that that's one of the bigger expenses for auto dealers. In fact, we see dealerships, Steve and I take a look at this quite frequently. They're spending 20 to 40K on Google ads, $4.50 to $5, per click on Google alone, which is criminal, frankly. When we show them that they could cut that in half or more, they're quite surprised. How do you manage and optimize your ad spend in that regard? And have you leveraged cutting edge, the new AI that's out there to help with these things, to streamline those costs?
All right. Well, the Presidio sent me their quarterly market program, actually first of the year type deal, and the review of last year and the previous years as far as car dealers selling their car dealerships and
Mm-hmm.
value them. And they had a very interesting one pager there that had, it used to be car dealers would manage their technology and end up, with car deals, right? But in today's world, the technology stack is so big and so powerful that if they use it right, they can take a dealership that's not using much technology and build a lot more value, and that's a good buy as far as buying the dealership. But they put technology in front of everything that the car dealer does right now, in front of the humans and everything. As far as you have to have that done right to give yourself a shot in this world. So I thought that was a third party, just strictly bigger than day, just hit me between the eyes as far as what I'm trying to get accomplished. So, but bottom line, technology is playing huge in my business, and inventory management. We have great tools there that really allow us to hit the cars correctly and turn them quickly, and everything shows us how quickly we're doing. We use Impel for what, just naming one that does a great job for us as far as the picture taking process, the rich merchandising. Today, if you don't do rich merchandising, you're out of it. You don't even have a start. If your car doesn't spin like Carvana, if your car doesn't go inside and out and doesn't show all the dings and stuff on it, and have a feature tour type thing, you're way behind the eight ball. So that'd be the first thing. That's the first part of the journey, right? When they hit on that car, you really need to have that done right. Your pricing is so important, right? And your descriptions of the vehicles and stuff. So we have extra time being put into that every day. So that's time consuming, and you got to be smart about it. But if you're not there, you're not going to get the hits. Now, we have Matt Mead's company called Drivonic that goes out and searches for the players, the buyers in the marketplace, who's in. They've got these fencing deals that are just spectacular as far as if they've been in any car dealerships, they know who you are, they know what you're shopping for, how you're shopping, and how long you've been in the market. So you really have to tailor your email marketing, your text blasts, all the different things you're doing to the buyers that are in the market at the time. And there's information out there now to do that, Peer Cars as well as the others. So you have to spend some money on that, and that cuts down your search costs, and you can cut down your search costs and be more in line.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit of thinking what we're doing on that.
Yeah, Steve Tackett. Steve has an interesting system. Steve, real quick overview on what else he could probably do.
Well, it's really simple in regards to the way that Google, there's something known as an ad tax, and most dealers are not aware of it. So if I send, let's say the click is to, that 2024 GMC Denali out front, we've got a landing page. So if the click is going to the VDP, or an SRP, you're being graded on the user experience. So if the user experience is bad, meaning your page speed is slow, the content there is not descriptive, maybe the VDP doesn't have real images, maybe it's using fake images. So that landing page gets graded. And the lower the grade, the higher the PPC tax. So I've got two dealerships. One, our landing page score is a 9 out of 10, selling the same brand to a dealership in the same county, ironically, also in the same city. Now, I'm in Los Angeles. I mean, I'm in Southern California. So Los Angeles, in my opinion, is the most competitive automotive sale market in the United States. So if I've got two Honda dealers, both selling Honda Accords, both in LA County, both in the city of Los Angeles, um, and they're both competing over the same click, all things are created equal. Well, when we end up with an LPE score on Honda dealer number one of a 9 out of 10, because the landing page that we've designed is flawless in its code, it responds, its Google Page Speed Insight scores are off the chart. We can buy that click for $1.50, where the dealership who's sending that same click to a page that is not optimized correctly, maybe the framework that the webmaster is using is a little antiquated, that dealer is going to pay $3.75 for the same click. That's Google's ad tax for a bad user experience. And we have solved that problem to perfection, to a page speed score of 100 across the board. And we've been able to replicate that over and over, reducing ad spend by 40% or doubling the clicks on the same ad spend. Yeah, it's fantastic to do it like that.
It's almost like the technology. It just comes so fast. It comes in waves, and I do digital marketing myself, and it's really hard to keep up with it. But anyway, go ahead, Steve.
We call that job security. What do you mean it's hard to keep up with it?
For those who have mastered AI, right?
Yeah, it's the age of. I said it to a couple guys. I'm like, hey, may the smartest programmer win. So, it's not how big your name is or how many companies you do business with. What matters is Google and AI agents care about how clean is your code, what is your user experience, and how do you map your content hierarchy from customer inception to conversion. And when you get all three things like that right, boy, they flood you with free organic traffic. It's fantastic.
It's like WebBuy. I mean, it's like, you guys are cutting edge. If you're cutting edge, you get that advantage. Anyway, I'm sorry, Steve. You had more questions.
Oh, hey, Steve, we need to talk because I'm burning a lot of money probably if I had to bet on it.
Well, that's what it's about, right? Is saving money. If let's say that our market share is maxed out or there's a ceiling, and I could call all 18,000 dealerships in the U.S. right now, and all of them would say, "Of course, I want to sell one more car next month." Like, what? Of course, that's why we're here, right? But if your marketplace, if your PMA is maxed out and we have to outreach to other areas to generate more units, right? I'm not talking about selling the same units a month. We spend money here, we're still selling 100 cars a month. We spend money here, we add this on, we add this on. We're getting fatter, we're getting lethargic in our spend, but we're still selling the same 100 cars a month. The objective here, in my opinion, is we have what I have designed with gas.net, which is literally generative AI systems network. That's what we do, is we master artificial intelligence and how dealerships are generating new organic traffic. By taking and creating a user experience that's flawless in outside areas where we've advertised before, but either the user experience was not pleasurable or we were reaching too far out. By utilizing proper framework and proper user experience and proper incentives, proper offers to outlying areas, it is possible to increase your rooftop by 50 units a month. Doesn't happen overnight. It's done methodically in areas. And the quickest answer for dealers is if one of my questions in onboarding, and dealers sort of hesitate because of what TrueCar did to the market. But if I say, Steve, all I want from you is your DMS report on the zip codes that your dealership sold vehicles in last year. So, okay, we did 600 units, we did 1,000 units, whatever we did over the year. I've got zip codes that I know your dealership can sell cars in, right? Now we have our expanded PMA. So if we take that information and we say, okay, maybe this deal was a one-off out of that zip code, but what if we get, 4 or 5 or 15 or 20? These are areas that we need to develop, and getting the pages to rank in that territory is easy. Getting them to stay there is hard. but utilizing social signals. Let's say that a customer in an outlying area left you a Google review. That Google review needs to be on that page. That proves to Google that your dealership can service that area and you will maintain your organic ranking. And usually that's where most vendors drop the ball. So it's just methodical, tedious, tenacious SEO, and it works when you do it correctly. The other thing is, I don't think dealers wait for SEO to take effect long enough. They have their, we're still playing red light, yellow light, green light, right? We sign a vendor. We know he's not going to do a damn thing the first month, second month. So, we give him a red light. Okay, next month, we see some sort of uptick. Okay, we give him a yellow light. If he's not at a green light in the third month, clip him. He's done. SEO can take a little bit longer, and there is a lot of limitations now to the frameworks that dealerships are using. There needs to be an update to the frameworks that we're using. We've got to get faster. Google has been very forthcoming when we've all been in an auditorium where there's a Google rep and we're learning, and they've been point blank. We don't care about you. We care about our customer experience. And I feel dealerships are failing at that level. So that's our primary focus is creating the user experience that AI is addicted to, that Google indexes correctly. And when we lead the customer from inception, regardless of the topic, if he's looking for transmission service, oil change, trade in a used car for cash, buy a new car, lease a new car, whatever. If that inception leads correctly in the hierarchy of the content to conversion, we get AI citation, just like that.
Yeah, with our EzCar program and our marketing and so forth, I could probably get my spend on search to cover a whole lot more area because I'd like to expand it because we don't have to have the person close to our dealership. We can sell them in Oklahoma, we can sell them in Texas, we can sell them up in North Dakota, doesn't matter. So we would probably do a little bit more spend, but do it a lot more effectively and cover a lot more area and then actually get that 50 car bump that you're
That brings
talking
you
about.
back to the question you didn't want to hear that Kelly asked, which is, what do you do about the 7-day test drive? You're gonna spend a nickel to send the car up to Oklahoma on a flatbed, and then the customer goes, "Well, I'm out." So now you got to come pick it up.
Well, excuse me.
Then I,
Bless you.
Yeah, but Carvana I was in over in upstate New Hampshire, and someone had just transferred a car with Carvana up from Florida up to there, and
Yeah.
she returned it, and it was $1,000 up, $1,000 back. I mean, so there you got to be very careful on that type of deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make sure they're bought and everything's organized, and the chance of success is 95%.
yeah. Steve, you got more questions there. We're at the 8-minute warning.
I do. I had a few more. Let me get my notes here because I love what you've done. I mean, it's fantastic. Um, okay. I'm buying a car online. My wife and I, we sit down, we do our research. Um, we're clicking around. If there was one thing that you wanted my wife and I to know as a consumer about buying a car online, where maybe you could write it on one of your pages, but you couldn't really get your message across, what would you tell me if you could reach out to me and talk to me directly through my computer? What would you say to me and my wife, or my wife and I, as we're sitting there configuring our next Range Rover?
We have your best interests at heart. That's a hard thing to do on an ad or whatever. But I think
No,
through our communication of co-browsing with you or texting or whichever way we're communicating, we'll just be honest with people and just say, hey, we're here for you. We're gonna give you great service. You're gonna get an amazing product, and we're gonna give you a great price, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna save you time also. We're not gonna stretch this thing out. You play well in the sandbox with us. We're gonna play extremely well in the sandbox, and we'll get to the end result a lot quicker, and you'll be a lot more comfortable with us, and we'll follow up after the sale. We'll be there for you.
you mentioned earlier the success of allowing the customer to, or the 47% were accepting the trade value because of your transparency in the vehicle. And it's the same thing. We're back to the same thing again. You're being transparent with me while I'm configuring my vehicle. The last thing's going to be the platform reputation. If once you build trust, now you've got me, right? Because
Bam. Yeah.
I need to go from this because I don't want to buy a darn thing right now. I'm not spending any money with EzCar because I don't know it. I don't trust it. But if you can get me from here to here, I'm
Bam.
I'm in. I'm signed. Done deal.
Well, one of the other things we do for you, not only do we do a transparent job on the trade tool, Car Valuator, but then when you get you to the lender bid board, normally, what happens at a car dealership, we send it to three places, get our best deal that works best for us, right? And then we show you that one and try to close you there. And then we may show you the other two if you're a real grinder, right? If you're not happy with that first one. What we do here is we're totally transparent in that process too. So we have Ally Bank, we have Bank of America, and maybe we have Subaru Chase in this case at my Subaru store, giving you three good competitive offers. Same amount finance, same customer, same car. Give me your best shot, right? And so all three of those lenders, we show you those numbers transparently. And now, say as a car dealer, I still want to make my 1 point reserve, right? So
Yep.
I build that into that number. So it's, say it's 589 versus 545 versus 625. You as the consumer have never really ever been given that opportunity to in a car dealership where you get to actually see the three offers and you pick out which one you want because you may even pick a higher offer because you like Chase. You got Chase credit cards, you got everything banking with Chase.
100%.
And I'll
Trust.
do an extra half a point if I can have my at my bank. And
Yeah.
so we're going to blow a lot of minds as we go in this transformation of transactional omni digital retailing solutions. So very very factored. The other thing I think will build a lot of trust with you right up front is that we have an AI agentic lady named Bella from Matt Mead's organization will help you answer just about any question you've got initially in your buying process in about 2 seconds. It is so unbelievable how she can ingest all that information on the page and spit it right back out to the customer in a oral presentation, right? And then make it easy for the customer to understand. So very excited about that. We're just in the process of working out details and integrating our products on that. So it's called Intender. So it's a new product out there. You might want to have, and I would
Intender.
suggest Kelly and Steve that you get Matt Mead on your call. He's a tremendous guy in the car business. He made the mistake from going from a software developer to a new car dealer. Okay. I made the mistake of being a new car dealer and went into the software. Okay. So you can understand that, right? So we're conflicted. And then our other board member is Doug Kenny, which would be a really good guy to put on your show. Also, he owns a car dealerships in Kansas City area, but he's the guy that helped mastermind Vin Solutions initially and sold it to Auto Trader. So he to put it in a couple thousand stores. Very interesting character. But that's my board for WebBuy.
Oh, that's outstanding. Steve Tackett, anything else? Or I should say, we're going to run out of time here. And if we do, we're going to have to do another link and finish it up. But anything, any last words, Mr. Zabawa? What's next for EzCar? You've told us
We're
a lot.
Well, I think
Sounds
what we're
good.
trying to do is get across the nation, have stores across the country as far as brick and mortar, have all the best franchises going. So I'm working really hard on that. We went from 0 to 7 locations last year in our first year, and this year we're trying to put another 10 locations out there. So
Fantastic.
that's what I'm up to.
Well, maybe we could help you do that. Steve Tackett, any last words?
Nope. Transparency. It grabs the customer. Exposure without increasing expense. And marketplace websites ultimately is where the customer finishes before they pull the trigger and fill out that lead form. That we know for a fact. So
All right, Steve,
Steve,
I need your secret formula for my company, so we'll be talking.
yeah. Steve
an
Tackett is the
absolute pleasure,
John
Steve.
Gruden. He's the John Gruden of SEO of
Yeah, well, he has won a
100%.
Super Bowl, right? So
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Yes, he has. Let's have a round of applause for our guest, Steve Zabawa. Steve, thanks a million for jumping in with us. Really happy to see you again and expect to call in November for another Vendor of the Year survey for sure.
Thank you very much. Take
Take
care.
care, guys.
Take care.
Bye
Pleasure
for
meeting
now.
you. Take care.